Good day and welcome to today's Sport Rep Show. I'm your host, Limba Mupetami. It was a jam-packed weekend, but before we get into all of that content, let's start the show with the hit list. Drigus Kutsie and Vera Lusa took the honors at the first Nedbank Windhoek Pedal Power race of the season on the Dotrabes Road on Sunday. There are 5 more races to go in the series. And moving onwards, at Wanderers in Pioneers Park, the host secured a 9-wicket victory over United 1 that was sent into bat first by skipper Nicolo Schulz. The newcomer to United, Henry Klazinga, on number 6, had an excellent knockout with perfect timing of the ball, scoring 45 runs from 50 deliveries that include 2 boundaries and 2 sixes. Here is a snippet from that match. Over the weekend, we had some football local action as well. African Stars' 7th win from 8 matches with 1 draw extended their lead at the top of the Debmarin Namibia Premier Football League standings from 4 to 7 points. In another match, a very tight game at Unam Stadium saw Black Africa have their 2nd draw of the weekend against Unam. We also have snippets of footage from the Civics versus Okahanja United match. Now, obviously, just to start off the weekend drop segment, we caught up with Unam's Ronnie Kanalelo after his side drew 0-0 with Black Africa on Sunday, as well as Tura Magic's Timo Tjongarero after his side's 2-2 draw against Black Africa on Saturday. Brian Issacs, of course, from Black Africa, also gave us a post-interview. All of this coming up right after the break in the weekend drop segment.
Yeah, I think we played in patches. Sometimes good, sometimes not good. The only thing I always have to look into that is going well is the structure. But out of the structure, the moments that happens, it's a little bit problematic, especially in the final third. That final ball, the decision making, what part of the body to use, when to be composed. That patience is not there. But I mean, that's not something that one can overcome with older players already. Meaning they are young, but they've gone past that stage where you can really improve. A lot of stuff completely, because you fix this and then there's another problem. Then you fix that and then there's another problem. But most of the stuff is game situations. The final pass. I mean, it was the same yesterday too. The final pass is letting us down. Instead of just play it within your teammates' reach. This ball is too far out, and then you have to chase, or there's a lot of questions asked from the teammate in those particular situations, and that's.
Okay, you guys created.
That's what we have to look at.
You guys created a lot of chances. You had a few chances to score. Like you said, the final third, those balls were just not coming through to the strikers. What do you think has to be done to fix that?
Look, it's just to look at the footage, and obviously work in do a lot of work in our final third. Luckily, okay, now when you play two games, you can't really concentrate on conditioning. It's just reaction speed, short moments, and then obviously you have enough time to work on your game moments, especially in the final third. To try and play the ball through the defense line, not over the defense line, through the defense line, and at least in reach with your teammate, so that he decides whether he has to take an extra touch or he just let it go and continue with his run. But now it's the field is also wet, which is a plus point. But then when the pitch is wet and with our style of play, trying to move the ball from the back to the front, or always keeping the ball, then you can't play into space. You need to play at least 2 feet, but always on the front foot.
Okay, last question. Positive takes from the game. What made you happy that the players actually did right?
Yeah, no, I mean, we had a lot of good moments in the final third, and also taking the ball out from the back into the middle, and reaching the final attacking third. And that, for me, that was a plus point. So as I say, we don't have problems with the bring the ball out from the defensive third into the middle third. We don't have a problem. The problem is basically in the final third. And what was also very positive today was basically, the positive attack. Your front line trying to really playing forward, instead of going forward and backwards always, So that was a positive side that I can really take from this game. I mean, we saw Lionel on the left side. Whenever he has the ball, he had a go and Tinkler, and Tinkler had to defend, and that's it. And yesterday I said, I mean, if you have a bully in front of you, you can't just shy away all the time. Sometimes you must just look at him and say, man, listen, I'm actually tired of this bullying, or you look like a bully, but let me see whether you are really a bully. So let me measure my strength against you, and that's what he did today, And yeah, so I'm pleased with that side. The only thing that we need to work on now is the delivery into into the final third, the delivery into the box, the composure, I mean, just look at how many half chances did we have, and then you have other deficiencies like strength in the air in the final third. Strength in the defensive third is not the problem, when you are defending, but when the ball is in the air, in the box, then it becomes problematic. And now you see that there's problems ahead. But looking at it, it's there's the other issue to understand what type of ball it is. If the ball is not hanging, then you don't need power. You just need to change the direction. That was the issue. Today's situation in the box, just to redirect the ball, you try to went for power. Once you go for power, then obviously you have to move your backwards. And when you move your backwards, then you all of a sudden the ball surprises you, and it sits in places that it's not supposed to fit. And then you have we had Nesta, instead of just controlling the ball or let the ball come down, drop, decided to use what is not good at, the header. Lionel, controlled the ball, but the ball went up. Instead of just being composed, let the ball drop and use his feet, and he decides to use his head, So it's just understanding, a tactical understanding of certain moments, the decision making, and that the player has to bring to the table, outside of what we ask for them, because how will I know whether the player will bring the ball down? I can only react afterwards and say, we should have let the ball. But those type of situations also come just once. Just come once. Tomorrow it might not happen. And that's why players need to be fully focused and understand the game and understand the moments and say, okay, in this situation, this is what I need to do. But not so bad. Let's take the 1 point and move forward. As I say, it's a totally new environment for a lot of players. We have to take that into consideration and take it day by day. We can only fix it on the training field and hope that they carry it through to matches on weekends. For the other teams, it's obviously easier because it's just a small build-up and then long balls into the box and hope for something to happen. Try to play behind your defensive line. That's a little bit hope of football. We can't play like that. That's for us, a little bit of boring football, and also it limits the qualities of the players, because now you have a player that is a ball player, partly good at his feet, he's good at his skills. Now you force him to play football that will not carry him through. Those are some of the things that we also take into consideration and say, okay, fine, we have 3 points, they can come, but should we become desperate now and pump everything forward and hope that something happens, like all the other teams are doing? But what's the future of the player? At the end of the day, you should play like that. Just do the right thing and give him a chance for the future. Not only here, but maybe someone will see the good qualities of the player and take him away, So, that's the environment that we're creating.
Okay, thank you very much, Coach.
It's a pleasure, man.
First half was really bad. It was very bad. We had a plan, we had the personnel, but they did not really show what we wanted. We had a bit of a serious talk with them in halftime. I think the attitude changed a bit. I was not happy with the body posture, or body positioning, or body, what's the word? Language of the players. And I think we had a chat on that. In the second half, really, there was a bit of change. But we needed to change the personnel to get the positive results, and that's what we did. Sometimes you win games from the bench, and that is critical to use. And for us, we need to work a bit harder again, defensively. Yeah, but at least we scored 2 goals. So the goals are coming. That's good to see. But now we need to close the back door where we are leaking them.
Would you say it's inexperience?
No, I would say probably match fitness, because you become sharper the more games you play. You recognize certain situation better, and I think this is what we need. So by the 3rd game, surely things will be much better.
Tomorrow, another tough match?
Yeah, away games are never easy, including this one. The one of tomorrow is in Kobabes, young African, also a youthful team, also brought in some experienced players, I understand. But for us, we focus on ourselves and we play our game, and the rest will happen as we go on.
Okay, thanks, Coach.
Thank you so much.
First half, very good, very competitive, good performance. We scored the first half. Second half, we ate another goal. We were leading 2-0, and a lack of concentration. It's about, say, 8 of these players, they never played Premier League, so they are inexperienced. So I only have 3 players who have played previous Premier League. But as I said, performance-wise it was good, but result-wise not good, because we are leading 2-0 and it's like we are throwing the points away.
What would you say contributed, besides the inexperience, what would you say contributed to the 2 goals that you conceded in the second half?
Yeah, lack of concentration, because the defense were not giving covering defense, and as a result they allowed the opponents to get away from them and score.
Match fitness, are you happy with the fitness levels of your players?
Okay, that's another, because we only had two weeks to prepare, and so that's another factor which have contributed to.
Tomorrow another match here?
Another difficult one, as you see that we are all in the same boat, but some teams have advantage because some teams are training twice a day, and as a result the endurance and stamina is far better than some other teams. But nevertheless, we are here to compete, so it will be difficult, but we will be there to compete. So we will be competitive in tomorrow's game.
Well, thanks, Coach.
Twane Silva, an 18-year-old grade 12 learner at Vindu Gymnasium Private School in Namibia's senior national shot put is rather the senior national sport put record breaker. Silva's love for shot put started at Barberton Primary School in South Africa. She moved to Namibia at the age of 10 and lived in Chumep before moving to Windhoek in 2018. Stay tuned as she tells us a little about her shot put journey.
So Twane, eerstens moet ek vir jou geluk sê op jou uitnemende sportprestasies. Jy maak die vloer skoon, lyk dit my, in die sportwêreld.
Baie dankie.
En tweedens moet ek vir jou geluk sê, en ek het dit al voorheen op Blitz Focus bespreek, jy het 'n baie cool van. Soos ek dink ek sou soos die coolste mens gewees wat ek so cool van gehad het. Dit is soos 'n science fiction hoofkarakter, Twane Silver.
Ek's baie bly iemand hou daarvan. Dis vir my eerste.
Ek kan al sien hoe jy soos die Cape wapper agter jou.
Nee, soos gewoonlik word ek gespot daaroor. Want dis eintlik iets waar ek bietjie geterg word. Almal spot so en sê ek moet my van verander na goud toe. So dit was vir jare is dit nou al 'n ding wat saam met my kom. En mense, dan kom ek tweede, dan sê hulle ja, silwer kry silwer. So daar het al 'n paar lekker grappies daar uitgekom.
Nee, maar ek moet sê ek hou baie van ironie. So die feit dat silwer so kronies goud kry, is vir my weer lekker. So Twane, jy speel netbal, jy doen gewigstoot, jy doen wat 'n ding is. Ek dink ek sal my hele segment volmaak nou as ek net jou sportkodes moet opnoem.
Nee, wat?
En jy is een van die top jong sportmense in die land. Maar natuurlik is dit nou nie alles glitz en glam en silwer nie. Dit is moeilik en daar is, jy weet, daar's harde werk wat daarin gaan. So vertel ons bietjie oor jou oefenroetine. Hoe lank spandeer jy net aan oefen en fiks bly?
Aan oefen en fiks bly. Kyk, die laaste 3 weke het ek nou bietjie gestagneer. Ek het 'n stresfraktuur in my rug. So ek moet nou eers bietjie kalm wees, het hulle gesê. Maar op 'n gewone weeklikse basis in my oefenroetine, soos as gewigstoot en netbal nou bymekaar kom, dan raak dit bietjie van 'n geskommel. Maar gewoonlik ek het 3 keer 'n week 'n uur en 'n half sessie by my baie Louie. Sy is amazing. Ek weet nie wat ek sonder haar sou doen nie. Sy kondisioneer my, sy werk aan my fiks, sy doen alles. Dan het ek my spoedsessies alleen wat my dis vinnig, dit is so 'n halfuur wat my vat na my gooi sessies. En dan natuurlik my gooi sessies by Tannie Christine wat enigiets van 'n uur tot 2 ure vat afhangende van waarop ek nou wil fokus op die dag. En dan nou as netbaloefening bykom is dit nog 'n uur en 'n half 3 keer 'n week. So party dae gaan draai my oefentyd so by so 5 ure.
Ja, ek weet nie of jy nou gesien het hoe dood my oë geraak het toe, maar daai wiskunde het ek het gevolg. Ek wou vir die kykers sê hoe baie dit is en toe tap die wiskunde uit. Ek is jammer, ouens, die wiskunde is baie.
Ja, so 5. Gewoonlik probeer ek so tussen 3, so by 3 bly. Ek wil nie my lyf ooreis nie, want dan kom beserings en dan kom dinge.
So jy kan die wiskunde ook doen om op te tel hoeveel ure jy is. Dis vele talente.
Windhoek gaan baie dankie.
Ari Hochad is up next with international sports news. Stay tuned.
Good day everyone, time for international sports news and starting off with the Australian Open tennis tournament that continues. It is week 2 leading up to the finals this coming weekend, and in the men's draw it was a 4th round action and Andrei Rublev of Russia came through and he's through to the quarterfinals. He beat Holger Rune. He's just 19 years old from Denmark in a very exciting and a very close game in 5 sets. It was a 6-3, 3-6, 6-3 and then 4-6 and 7-6 the tiebreak in the 5th set. 5th set it was 11-9 in that 5th set tiebreak. Andrei Rublev going through, and both players had 2 match points leading up to the tiebreak, and it was Rublev coming through in the end. Also in the men's division, it is Yuri Lebesha. He is from Chechnya that keeps on surprising. He's number 71 in the world. He's now through to the quarterfinals. 8 players in the quarterfinals, and he beat number 6 seed Felix Auger-Aliassime of Canada. The score there was 4-6, 6-3, 7-6 and 7-6. Another player from Chechnya is Karolina Pliskova. She's also through to the quarterfinals in the women's section, and she beat China's Zhang Shui, and the score there was 6-love and 6-4. Earlier also another unseeded Magda Linette. She's from Poland. She beat one of the higher seed players, the 4th seed Caroline Garcia of France, by 7-6 and 6-4. Southern African interest is only left in the doubles. It is South Africa's Raven Klaasen and Lloyd Harris. They also through to the 4th round. They beat Granelis and Zelebos. They from Argentina and Spain respectively, and they through to the 4th round in the doubles. On to some hockey news. It's the World Cup hockey that continues for men. That's in India. Big news from the tournament is that host India knocked out of the tournament and they didn't qualify for the quarterfinals. They lost to New Zealand in a crossover game. It was 3-3 on normal time and then 5-4 on penalties. A very close game won by New Zealand. They through to the quarterfinals where they will face Belgium. Also through to the quarterfinals is Spain that beat Malaysia, and they also beat them on penalties, also 4-3 in penalties after being 2-2 in normal time. Spain will play Australia in the quarterfinals. 2 other games to be played in the crossovers to qualify for the quarterfinals will be Germany that will face France. The winner go through to the quarterfinals, and also Argentina playing Korea for a place in the quarterfinals. Already through to the quarterfinals, awaiting one of these 2 teams is Netherlands and England. Continuing international sports news with netball news, an exciting tournament taking place in Cape Town, South Africa International Tournament. It's the Quad Series Netball. The three best teams in the world, it is England and Australia and New Zealand playing against host South Africa in Cape Town. It was an exciting second round of games. It was South Africa that played to a 46-all draw. That was against England, a great result for South Africa. And it was Australia that beat New Zealand by 59 goals to 57, also a close game in the end. On Tuesday, it will be South Africa that play Australia, tough game for them, and then New Zealand will face England. South Africa lost their first game against New Zealand, and it's good preparation for the World Cup women's netball that's going to take place in South Africa later this year.
We've come to the end of today's show. Please join us tomorrow for another edition of Sport Wrap.